Hello. I wanted to make a video. Something that I was kind of like processing. Cause it's like, I like to make videos like whenever I feel like I get like, some sort of like inspiration or, something gets solidified. I had a cousin, she told one time, it's like, God will, test you again to see if you're stupid. And sometimes it's like, you know what I mean, when we're grasping certain things, it can take us a while. I mean, I know that, like, I'm hard-headed, so it's kind of like, I'll know something, but I won't know something. And then sometimes you know something, but, like, like, it doesn't click. And it's like, and that's, like, the thing that I was getting. It's like, as we're growing, we're evolving. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like, in my perspective, or, like, from my experience, from the perspective I've had, it's like, as you grow, it's almost kind of like, it's like, almost like, one thing that you'll address or you'll heal, it'll uncover a different part, and it's like every time you address things as they come or as you see them, because it's like almost kind of like you might not even see something as like a point of contention within yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's like out of habit or out of ego or just, it's kind of like, it's hard to see something, like, it's like, like that whole, like, it's in this, like, in the Bible, it's like, you notice the speck in your neighbor's eye, but you can't see the log in your own. It's like, a lot of time it's like we are our own biggest problem, and we really are. I, for one, like whenever I get triggered by something, or like maybe I had an interaction that didn't go the best, or maybe like I didn't handle something the best, because what I do, it's like I like to self-reflect. You know what I mean? And it's almost kind of like I hold myself to a high standard, and you know what I mean? I'm the kind of person, when if you come at me with, like, logic, I'm going to think about that. You know what I mean? Because I had a manager, well, it was a supervisor, tell me that I have a problem taking correction. And it's like, it didn't really, I kind of didn't really internalize it and initially, but I was like, you know what, maybe, like, there's a point to what you're saying, because for me as a person, I always hold myself to a very high standard. You know what I mean? That's why, like, for me, it's like I've learned a lot of my lessons, like, the hard way. You know what I mean? I am my father's daughter. I'm very like, bullheaded in that. You know what I mean? Someone made a video, and it was like, it definitely, like, spoke to me. It's like almost kind of like the woman who raised me as my mother, she was so free-spirited to the point of recklessness. And I am, I've got, like, you know what I mean? I'm a hippie, like, at heart, but it's like almost like the two parts. It's like I'm very free-spirited and creative and eccentric in my personality and my expression of self and the way I kind of expand in the world, but it's like almost kind of like I kind of like sometimes will keep that to myself a little bit. And then the man who raised me as my father, it was kind of like very rigid, you know what I mean? But it was like almost like my father had a much more grounded approach to life, so it's kind of like I kind of gravitated more to like overanalyze emotions and like, and almost kind of be very rigid. And it's like something somebody posted in a video, and I kind of was like, oh my goodness, yes. It's like I have a problem with self-perception, like being perceived by others. I never had a fear of failing. I had a fear of success. I remember I was like in, I think it was 8th grade history. And like me and this other girl, and we were close friends at the time, we had the best grades in the class. And to like, as soon as she said that, I stopped trying. I remember being in like elementary school, and I went to a very small elementary school, like one class per grade. And it was kind of like, I was in 4th grade, and it was 1st through 6th grade. And for the first part, it's like I read more books even than like the 6th grade girl, because it's like they did boys against girls, and I think maybe like an overall. But it's like I read more books than anyone. And it's like as soon as it came to that point, I just didn't. I stopped trying, to the point like I didn't get to go to like the pizza party at the end of the year because I hadn't read enough books to. I remember being like my senior year of high school, I didn't turn in my senior report, and apparently you're supposed to fail if you do that. And I still passed because I made like 100% on all of my assignments after that. And I shouldn't have passed, but because I did that, I did. It's like, sometimes, you know what I mean, we create our own roadblocks internally. And then, furthermore, project it out externally. I used to like to listen to Stephen Furtick, and something he used to say, it's like, somebody will say something to you negative, and it will confirm something that you already had. The worst thing you thought of yourself, it confirmed, it felt like a confirmation of that. And so it's like, I think for me it's like, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm always like, if I grow and I heal a part, you know what I mean? It's like, then it's kind of like on to the next and to the next. But it's like, sometimes it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's like good to have a reminder to kind of like just not be so rigid, And something somebody else posted in another video I really liked was the way you have exchanges with people, like interaction. Like, you might not be in disobedience. Like, you might be aligned with God, and you might be healed, and you might be focused. But it's like, just like having a rebuttal back and exchanging in the same, just to kind of acknowledge, it's like nothing lost, nothing gained, And so it's like, I'm just thankful, you know what I mean? And something somebody else posted was like, I've done a lot of healing, a lot of growth, you know what I mean? And it was a good reminder. It's like, you don't have to be understood. And that's not the point. And that isn't the point, Because we're all evolving, So it's like, I guess that's the point, another point I wanted to make. It's like, I guess a reminder to like give yourself grace and others grace. I wish you well, and